Awesome. I appreciate your help on this. So for anyone that has questions, feel free to put them into the chat. So when we work with our clients, a lot of the challenges around getting to where Moet has taken you all has generally started with understanding what the business goal is or getting the developers and the architects up to speed. So a lot of our journey at the start will be around assisting them with training and workshops or giving them a central place for all the AI resources that they need. The other thing is a lot of times you'll see someone do an AI project, and if there's no business value or it doesn't help you be more effective as a developer, then we find that people don't go and adopt that next use case. So if you think of the banks, a lot of the banks are driving at scale now, the use cases that they just played around with in the last year or two and trying to see what's working and then scale it up. So once you get through the first start, now what we're trying to do is expand beyond those initial use cases. So are there tools that make sense? So in our case, we built one that supports lots of technology behind the scenes for that to work. Are we already doing business or process automation? Is there a way to use AI around that? We have a lot of clients that were, automatically scanning in documents, but not using AI. So is there a way to add AI to existing processes? And then the analytics. So a lot of people have lots of data. They may be doing some basic BI in the past. Is there a way for AI to add additional insights? Whereas one of our clients likes to say, give me questions that I wasn't even thinking about answering, or give me unique insights that I wasn't even aware of, right? So don't just give me the data in a BI platform, but give me new questions to ask or new insights that I hadn't even thought about asking. And then a lot of our clients are now going to start creating these custom solutions that are tied specific to their business or across the different business units. And then finally, where we like to go is everyone talks about digital transformation, right? So how do you transform your business from an AI perspective? So embed AI in the use cases and in the core business processes that make sense. Drive a culture of AI. So think about an AI center of excellence where you can share best practices and tools that work and those things. I mentioned the banks, so things around governance and all of the security framework that you need around, like, your data is your data. You don't want this to get out in the public ecosphere. I was at an event yesterday with a friend from college, and he's like, hey, everything I have isn't proprietary. So he shares all of his data, whether it's his financial statements as an organization, across his employees so that they can train the model, but then they keep all of their customer data locked out, so you can't just train the generic models on that data. And then one area we're seeing is AI labs. So we're seeing clients that are trying to either train their internal employees about how to use AI or train their customers how to use AI. And then I mentioned the Center of Excellence. So those are the three things that we're seeing work. So kind of a crawl, walk, run approach. So what we did is at the beginning of the year, we said, let's build out what we call SID Prime. So SID Prime is any prime number. So if someone wants to do a project for a week or 3 weeks, 5 weeks, any prime number, or 1 month, 3 months, any prime number from a month perspective, and then get them started either where they're at the beginning of their journey or if they're looking to accelerate that journey. And so areas that we've seen make a lot of sense this year for us has been the Center of Excellence. A lot of banks are building this out. I know a few people on this call are in those big banks doing that. Virtual digital lobbies. So how do you, like, if you're a bank, how do you prevent someone from having to go into your location? So like my wife uses Capital One. We don't have a Capital One bank in Philadelphia, but she still can do everything online. And then I mentioned these AI ML labs. So New York City is using an AI or an ML lab to train their youth on how to become prompt engineers, or how can they use AI as part of their life. So when they go into adulthood, they already have those experiences and baked into their background. And then we're also seeing this enhanced BI capabilities. So like in the New York City example, for every dollar that I invest, where's the best ROI that I get from my citizen, right? Or if I'm a bank, where do I invest those? So these enhanced BI capabilities are allowing the executives and the leaders do things, but it's also allowing the individual person, the individual developer, to figure out where should they spend their time. So one of the good things that came up in an earlier talk this week was asking to be critical of yourself. Like, how can you be a better person, right? How can you become a better developer, and let AI coach you on how to be better at your role. So then you could use that as a leader to see across the software engineering team on how the overall organization can be more efficient, and then the individuals can do the same for their own role. Now, if you're a developer, a lot of your internal users will ask you for questions. There's these low-code, no-code tools. There's all of this citizen kind of development going on. So how can you empower your internal employees that you support to go and do some simple stuff on their own, so they don't need to come to you, and then you can focus on the more strategic, more challenging projects where you need to be engaged. And I put this book up, but fantastic book for anyone that wants to understand what's the business case for AI. How do you identify AI use cases that you can then go sell your leadership? So if you want to get involved in AI, like, how do you have that conversation? So a lot of our clients that are, C-suite, that are technical, or developers or managers in the technical side, want to use AI, but how do you convince your leadership or the business to do that? So if you want to pick that book up, it's a great book that gives a lot of blueprint and framework. And I know a few of you that are on this call have gone through, our CEO Sudi has gone through these workshops that we do. And so some of my evolution on how we conduct those workshops, how I ask you guys questions on these webinars and the content, have come from Kavita, who's fantastic, and she's got lots of experience doing AI use cases. So feel free to pick up a book if you want over the weekend to read. With that, if anyone has questions, I added Nahendra. He's our platform guru. So if you guys have questions from a platform perspective, since it's more technical, or Moet with AI, or both, they're available to answer some of your questions.
I can see a question from Smita. Smita, I think to answer your first question. So I don't think there will be any better or not better comparison when it comes to GenAI solutions at different stages of SDLC. I would consider it like, it's a continuous improvement journey. There are few areas in the SDLC where generative AI solutions can significantly improve your productivity, efficiency, right? And there are few areas where the technology is still evolving, right? So the areas like, software, the actual development where you need to generate the code, you need debugging, right? You need test case generation, you need to review the code. Those are the different stages where I would say in the current landscape, generative AI has already significantly improved its capability to augment the developer journeys. And then there are few areas like, creating user stories, creating low-level design. Generative AI can certainly help the, different personas there, but it also depends on the quality of the, requirements and the documents, the inputs that you have for the generative AI to learn from, right? If your requirements are pretty well documented, clean, generative AI can significantly help you to generate those user stories. If the requirements are not clearly and well documented, there could be definitely some of the human intervention required. Hope that answers your question.
And then if you want to slide to 2 slides up, we got like 4 minutes. So if you want to move to the next slide. Yeah. So so the next slide is just an overview of who Sid is. So overall, what we've primarily been doing, that most people know us for, and a few on this call, is we've really been doing custom software solutions for our customers for a very long time. A lot has been around API management, and also managing a cloud or multi-cloud offerings using things like DevOps and DevSecOps and all these more technical things that some of you guys on the call are familiar with. But at the end of the day, what I like to think of is what we're really good at is understanding what our customers' goals are. You know, some of us in sales talk about our pain points, understanding like what are you trying to accomplish as an organization or in your role within your organization, and how can technology help you do that, and then drive that project to successful completion, and then have the business value and the results on the back end of that to show that the development work that you have created has a big impact on your team and on your career as well as your organization. So lots of things that we've been involved in, but we've been around for a while. We're based out of Philadelphia. A lot of like AI projects over the years, and especially now in the last 2 years, and just doing a lot of that. So if there's ways that we can help you all think about your organization and how to help you drive AI innovation as technology leaders, we're happy to do that. We've done that with a number of CIOs where we've gone and helped them create these workshops and these roundtables with their key business stakeholders, driving use cases so then that their technical team can then drive net new development using AI and getting to play with new technology. So lots of great examples of that I'm happy to take offline. I will share the recording, and I will get that out to everyone that's on this call or haven't joined. And we're almost at time, so I appreciate everyone for making the time. I know an hour of your day, especially during lunch, if you're on the East Coast, is a precious time. So I appreciate everyone's help for making time for joining our webinar. And I'll send you guys a survey that you guys can take.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Cheers.